All right. I am live. I'm so OCD. This needs to be centered just right. Hi there. So good to see you. My lovely, lovely friend. You are the first one through the door, so you have the best virtual seat in the house. Followed by Z. What's up, brother? Um, Happy Marine Corps birthday to you. Um, so James Wortham posted that today, but you had put your picture up a day or two ago. So I think is the Marine Corps birthday today? Yeah, Veterans Day tomorrow. But when was the Corps birthday? Jim Wortham put it up, and it's 200. Was it 55 years? I don't know. I was part of Peace Through Superior Firepower, Strategic Air Command, Death from Above. So bombers, man, with nukes. That was my gig. 255. Is it today? 248 today. Congratulations. Happy birthday to the Marine Corps, man. And then happy Veterans Day to us, those of us, to us and those like us, you band of brothers. Proud to have served. Passed along that mantle to those that are carrying it today, securing our freedom, for which we're grateful. And he says, thank you, you're welcome. Yep. I'm on the Facebook group from my former bomber wing, and a guy put that banner up that I just posted about 15 minutes ago. We did a lot of walking in front of, driving too sometimes, but in pretty bad weather, scorching heat. Man, I mean, it was like 140 or 60 coming off that tarmac in the middle of, you'd think Sacramento's nice weather. It could get really hot when you're out there on tarmac with B-52s and KC-135 refuelers, and you're doing 12 hours during an alert. And it got so cold in Northern California that we were supplied with used parkas from bases like Alaska because they have what's called this Thule fog, and it's fog, and it was about like eye level, and it would roll in really slowly. And when it came across our priority A ramp with those B-52s loaded with nuclear loaded weapons, and you couldn't see, you had to get out and walk, and you could not see literally beyond your hand in front of you. We had guys that would walk into the edge of a wingtip because they couldn't see the plane. So anytime inclement weather got so bad you couldn't see, the tower operator was 60 feet in the air, and if he couldn't see the towers, even though we had alarm systems on the fence, you had to get out and walk. And I mean, it was so cold. And all we had back then was thermals. We didn't have any high-tech stuff like today, waterproof stuff. So you got layers of thermals on, you got a parka on, and you're standing there absolutely freezing. So Sacramento had some very extreme weather. But man, I remember 140 or almost 60 coming off that tarmac in the summertime, and you're wearing black jump boots. They were so hot, like your feet were just on fire, man. It was just crazy. I guess when we're younger, we can tolerate that a little bit better. But here we are, brothers and sisters that have served, about to celebrate our day tomorrow. I have a shirt that I wear. It has on the back, it has veteran, and it's like in a dictionary where it's phoneticized and spelled out. It said definition: someone who wrote America a check, something like that. Open-ended check to include your life. I wear it one day a year, and it'll be tomorrow. So, all right, here we are. You're welcome. We were called the Blue Berets because our beret was blue with our Strategic Air Command metal pin on the top of it. Security police were the Blue Berets. So proud to have served. Thanks for your service, Z. Marine Corps is my first choice. I wanted to do something tough. I was 19. But the Iran thing was going on, the Iran conflict, and my dad had been in the Army, and he didn't want to see me be one of the first ones shipped over. So it kind of talked me into going into something else, so I went in the Air Force. So for a long time, Marine Corps was like one of those, man, unsatisfied dream kind of things. And I met you and other guys that have been through it, and I've heard all the stories and worked with the late, great Frank Capersi, who was also a Marine Corps DI, so got a pretty good idea what it would have been like. Frank and other guys said you'd have been just fine as a Marine. So I learned quickly, even in the Air Force, they could be pretty tough and do crazy stuff, despite what you've heard. But I learned early on, yes or no, sir. Don't step out of line if you're smart. And I know other guys that said, yeah, I tested that. They always lost. So I was not about to bring undue pain on myself. So I would have made a good Marine. I made a pretty good SAT cop though. So, all right, welcome. Yeah, Franco, I read he passed a couple years ago. We worked together as supervisors. He was a funny guy. Here's Frank. Remember Franco had that voice. 29-year Marine. I don't know if you knew this, but he lied. He forged his age so he could join at 17. It's all true. Franco used to look at me and go, Air Force. Nothing but a civilian organization in a military uniform. He busted my chops for all those years, and that's what he would say. You know, but I never heard those guys complain when they went to TDY to an Air Force base. They had above average chow, way above average. In the chow hall, they had swivel chairs and nice accommodations. Nobody ever came away from an Air Force base I ever heard saying, I don't ever want to come to these again. This is too nice. So I do take pride in that. All right. He says, yep. He says he hated it when the long hair campus. Well, I was one of the first supervisors to wear it. To get a piercing, and I came in one day and sat down. I was a supervisor. He looked at me and he went, me and a guy named Glenn Spencer. I don't know if you remember Glenn. He was a ruffled, incorrigible guy. So Glenn was older too, so he got a piercing, and I did too. I always wanted one. Frank wasn't happy about that. But yeah. You turned 18 in boot camp? Awesome. Yeah, I was 19 when I went in. Glenn Spencer. Let's get some music going. On this Fiesta Friday, welcome my tribe. Doors will remain open in the hopes that we get others to join us, but if not, as always, no matter how large or small a group, a gathering, it's always an esteemed group. So yeah, Wednesday night, finally, I got a Steve Pulse fix. Oh, he's teaching songwriting, but it's at a music festival today and tomorrow, and his back had been bothering him. So I told his wife that I was a licensed massage therapist now, and if he needed some work on it, let me know. And he called me the next morning, Steve. I think I hadn't seen him in like 7 years, right before they moved to Nashville. Maybe one other time. No, I don't think so. That was it. It was the last house concert that I held, the third one for him. So it'd been a while. We got caught up. It's a great show. Got I gotta put I had this guy take a picture of he and I and my friend Kelsey. It was her first time. Kevin was there. Gene was there. Um, Lynn White stopped by for a little while because he came to one of the house concerts or two. So I got to catch up with him. So a guy took pictures of Steve and Kelsey and I, and they came out terrible. I was going to do my selfie, and the guy goes, "I'll do it for you," and it was all blurry. So she's a photographer, so she fixed it up a little bit. That was her first time seeing Steve, so she understands now why, if anything's ever wrong in my universe, there's nothing that a Steve Poltz fix can't correct, and now she knows why. Yeah, so he gave me a big hug and kiss on the cheek, and I got to see his wife Sharon, and before we left. And he called me yesterday saying, "What do you think I should do?" And I said, "Epsom salt and this and that, and don't stretch anymore. And if it keeps hurting, give me a call. There's no charge. Just come on up to my office. I'll give you directions, and I'll treat you." So I haven't heard from him, so I'm guessing no news is good news. So he's doing better. I got to tell you, he's pretty spry for a guy with a low lumbar pain. Man, he's jumping on the stage, hopping around. But then he told me on the phone he'd been taking ibuprofen, and I said, "Got it." So yeah, I got a Poltz fix. So oh, I did that because of you, Amy. I wouldn't have taken that. I said, "Oh, Amy wanted to see you." So as soon as he came out, I did that. I was going to do others, but he doesn't use a set list like me, so you don't know what he's going to play and when. So as soon as they announced and he came out, I said, "I got to get this one going." So I'm glad you liked it. So this, he ended with two. He ended with this one, and "You Were Meant for Me." So it's awesome. He just got ordained, so he's flying back to California to officiate the wedding of some friends. And I said, "Dude," and they said, he said during the show they want him to play this song, and I told him on the phone, I said, "Remember my friends Jason and Emily? They used to work for Apple, and you met them at the house concert?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, I officiated their wedding in White Sands, New Mexico, and this was their song." And I said, so Jason and his dad were standing with me. They rented out this huge space at White Sands. And as soon as I picked up my guitar and started playing the song, that was Jason's cue. He knew that Emily and her mom were coming. And it was very emotional. And I said, "I played this song." I said, "It's almost identical to what you said you're going to do." He was like, "Oh, that's so cool." It was neat. I love everything about you, and I love the way you comb your hair, and I love the way you sashay in the room. Your perfume lingers in the air. I love everything about you. Whoa, about you. And I love the way you lick your lips, dear. You got fireworks in your head. And I love the way you bring me water. When I'm thirsty in your bed. I love everything about you. Whoa, about you. You were sure kissed by an angel. Just look at the freckles on your face. You got a devil in your eyes. You disappear without a trace. Well, I love sneaking up behind you when you're looking in the mirror. The way your eyes lock into mine, dear. Without guilt and without fear, I love everything about you. Whoa, about you. I love everything about you. Whoa, about you. Oh, that was the right song to kick off this edition of Fiesta Friday. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being here. Sipping if you got 'em. Happy Pre-Veterans Day. Happy Marine Corps birthday. I've got a couple things here sitting beside me on each side to catch you guys up on. I don't mean it to be as a tease to keep you hanging around, but I want to pace myself, and maybe some others will join in too. So I'll share. Anyway, I'm gonna do some more Steve Poltz. Man, I'm still in a Poltzy high, and the fact he called me the next day, I left him a really late text, and I said, "Hey, Sharon told me about your back. If you have any trouble, I'm a licensed therapist, man. I own an office, and be glad to treat you if I can. So stay in touch. If I don't hear from you, safe travels." And he's getting ready to go to Italy, I think, on tour. So, or did he just come back from that? I don't know. He's always on tour. So then he called me the next morning. It was awesome. Give your love to the east, where the sun never sets. I'll be there at the top of the stairs. You could bet. So just pick up the phone, make a call, all your own. I'll be there when you say your last little prayer. La la la, la la, la la. You hold your head in your hands, and I don't have a way to climb inside your body and just hang out and stay. And everybody's asking when you'll come back, and I don't have an answer, so I fade out in the black. Who knows how I feel today? I suppose I'll slowly fade away. Fade away. And I walk so slowly through the broken glass outside. I tread it oh so cautiously. I'm wondering where you hide. I got notes stacked on my walls, and kisses oh so sweet. And all I do is wonder again to shall meet. Who knows how I feel today? I suppose I'm slow to fade away. Fade away. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Do you hear me talking to you? Oh, hello again. How do you do? Good morning, I miss waking up instead of good morning, I miss waking up with you. Uh-huh. $100 phone bill multiplied by 5. You look like a phone to me. Hey, are you still alive? And dirty plates and bottles with the dicker in my floor. And I got lots of so-called friends just knocking on my door. Who knows how I feel today? I suppose I'll slowly fade away. Fade away. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Do you hear me talking to you? Oh, hello again. How do you do? Good morning, I miss waking up instead of good morning, I miss waking up with you. Uh-huh. Oh, the gifts that keep on giving. The beautiful, soulful, and whimsical, and awesome, and beautiful, and lovely, and crazy, and sometimes frighteningly scary, but always fantastic songs of Stephen Joseph Joshua Poltz. Because he was raised Catholic, and so was I. And at Catholic confirmation, you get to pick out a confirmation name. His was Joshua. I don't even remember mine, so I have no clue. But that's his full name, including confirmation. I remember those days as well. Oh, good. Thank you, Amy. Well, I'm gonna keep doing some Poltzy stuff because once I get in that mood, they're just all great. Let's see. Well, my friend Haley's not checked in tonight from Seattle. She and I got to sing this live one time, I think. I got to accompany her, and I jumped in on the chorus. So Steve and Jewel wrote this song down in Mexico on a surfing trip. I remember he told me they stayed in this abandoned place, and they woke up in the morning when he's the most creative, and he grabbed his guitar and he started playing, and then they started working on lyrics, and then they recorded it up at Neil Young's ranch, and they released it, and it didn't do a lot at first, I think he says, so they re-recorded it, except they kept his original guitar work because nobody can duplicate that. And then it got released, and it shot to #1 and knocked the Macarena off the charts, I think in 1996, if I'm right. So here it is. I hear the clock, 6 a.m. It feels so far from where I've been. I've got my A's, I've got my pancakes too. I've got my maple syrup, everything but you. I break the yolks and make a smiling face. I kinda like it in my brand new place. I like the spots off the mirror, don't need the keys in the door. I never put wet towels on the floor anymore, 'cause dreams last so long, and even after you're gone. And I know you love me, and soon you will see you were meant for me. called my mom, she was out for a walk. Sold a cup of coffee, but it didn't want to talk. So I picked up the paper, some more bad news. Our hearts been broken more, people being used. Put on my coat in the pouring rain. I saw a movie, it just wasn't the same. 'Cause you was happy, I was sad, yeah. It only made me miss you so bad. 'Cause dreams last so long, even after you're gone. And I know you love me, and soon you will see you were meant for me, and I was meant for you. Yeah, I go about my business, I'm doing fine. Besides, what would you say if I had you on the line? Same old story, not much to say. Hearts are broken every day. Brush my teeth and put the cat back on. I know you hate it when I leave the light on. I pick a book up and turn the sheets down, yeah. I take a good long look around. Put on my PJs and hop to bed. I'm half alive but I feel mostly dead. I try and tell myself it'll be alright, and I shouldn't think any more tonight. 'Cause dreams last so long, even after you're gone. And I know that you love me, and soon I know you will see you were meant for me, and I was meant for you. Yeah, you were meant for me, and I was meant for you. Yeah, 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 yeah. All right. There's a #1 hit written by Steve and Jewel. I think it was about 8 years ago. Jewel was playing here. I got to see her live once at a casino, and Steve opened for her, and they got to do that song together. First time so at least I got to see them do it live together, which is awesome. All right, I'm going to continue on with some Steve songs because, like Elvis, when that spirit moves, man, you just got to go with it. And I'm in a pulsy mood tonight. I'm still my heart's still full from Wednesday night and reconnecting. Finally, that friendship. It's like a brother. Just awesome. Awesome dude. His lovely and wonderful wife, Sharon. And of course, all the fantastic music. Amy says, nice hope, and no one. I've seen Billy Harvey at the Rhythm Room is a friend of his who's awesome that I got to meet. He opened for him once on tour. They're friends. They're like brothers. And then a guy named, remember? So his name is Grantley Phillips. You'll remember him, Amy, even if you don't know his name. He's the guy that would stand out and play guitar in Gilmore Girls. So that was Grantley Phillips. So he's a friend of Steve, and I saw maybe 8 years ago they came here and he opened for Steve. That's it. He's a one-man show. He's married. Yeah, Sharon was his girlfriend in San Diego. She's a hairstylist. She owned her own business in, I think, downtown, and they were a couple forever. But a couple years ago, they I think they got married on a cruise, so they finally sealed the deal. But she's been his longtime girlfriend. Yeah. So Steve had this. I played this before. This beautiful song. I can't do it justice. You can go to YouTube and open it up and um, search for "Leaving Again," the studio version. So this was on the soundtrack to that movie Jack Frost with Michael Keaton, or he's a father. I think he gets hit by a car, he dies, and he comes back a year later as a snowman. So Steve had this on the soundtrack. If you want to hear just the most beautiful version, just go to YouTube and find it. This is the album version, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful song called "Leaving Again." You can say you're coming back, you can say you're leaving. Wish you would let me know so I could stop my grieving. And if the road come back to haunt me, am I gone and I do not know? The sky come back to taunt me, am I gone and I'm feeling low? Gone and I'm feeling low. Don't talk of things that you don't understand. No, don't discuss what you don't know. It never did you, and you know how. Don't leave your things that you got baggage hanging around. It only makes it hard to walk this town. You can say you're coming back, or you can say you're leaving. Wish you would let me know so I could stop my grieving. And when the clouds roll back, I think of you. And the springtime makes me gray. And every time I turn around, you leave. Oh, I love that little song. It's so pretty and sad, but that's a Steve Polk song. Sometimes it's a juxtaposition of beautiful, sad, whimsy, frightening at times, but also always great, great music. Amy says, great version. Thank you. Doors are open. No new check-ins yet, but we'll welcome all the way through. A couple songs Steve wrote and recorded, I think, man, over 15 years ago, I'm sure, in Australia. And I like putting these together. Ride with the top down, and all the boys stare. The center of a magazine, your windblown hair. And I could have tried to get deeper inside. So I sat there alone, and slowly got a fright. Hope it's on pretend, and this is the end. I got piles of old pictures clothes on my racks. You can keep most of the records. Leave me the Motown and stacks. Leave me the Motown and stacks. I broke down in Grimsby. I missed you so bad. I felt like a fifth wheel, smile and sad. And all of the whiskey in the world couldn't stop my heart from beating. Spun like a top. Hope it's only pretend. And this is the end. And I got piles of old pictures. I got your clothes on my racks. You can keep most of mine. Leave me the Motown and the stacks. Leave me the Motown and the stacks. Screw these damn cell phones. The cancer in my head. This genetic chicken makes me feel like I'm dead. Can argue for hours and miles in the night till I just pass out. The floor is alive. Hope it's only pretend. And this is the end. And I've got piles of old pictures. I've got your clothes on my racks. You can keep most of the albums. Leave me the Motown and stacks. I've got piles of old memories. You and me down by the tracks. You can keep most of mine. But leave me the Motown and stacks. Leave me the Motown and stacks. Oh, that's always a great song will always be a great song. And these to me are just great songs. Beautiful singer-songwriter songs. Wonderfully crafted. I can't match his guitar playing, but we'll call it a consolation second. But then no one can. His writing is exquisite. His guitar playing is just magnificent. So I'm just paying a little homage to Steve. Finally getting caught up. I love this one. You've heard me play this one a lot. So this one's called 10 Chances. I only had 1 minute left on my calling card. I was halfway around the world and it was raining really hard. I only had a couple of aspirin and a half a can of beer, so swallowed it down for courage, but it's still pretty hard to hear. So I only had 3 words that I wanted to tell you, that it would be easier if you were here and I could smell it. Words are falling, I don't know. They drift, they mass, they melt like snow. I know I'm meant to be a flake, but scrape my knees and make mistakes. I may lose, but mostly win. Sometimes I get soaked in sand, but I fall right back into your arms again. So I ordered 4 cans of Tooheys and I set them on a trunk. Had a long conversation, the hope was drunk. And I only had 5 tickets and 6 new friends. So one of them had a hissy fit and drove off in her Mercedes-Benz. Words are falling, I don't know. They drift, they pass, they melt like snow. I know I may be a flake, I scrape my knees and make mistakes. I may lose, but mostly win. Sometimes I get drenched in sin, but I fall right back into your arms again. So we played 7-card stud. I had a royal flush. Took out your picture and started to blush. 'Cause I only had 8 lives. Most cats got 9. Meow. That's my line. So I skipped out on the bungee jumping just this time. I only had 10 chances to say I love you. Words are falling, I don't know. They drift, they pass, they melt like snow. I know I may be a flake, I scrape my knees and make mistakes. I may lose, but sometimes win. Sometimes I get soaked in sin, but I fall right back into your arms again. Hey, I'll collapse into your loving arms again. Yeah, I fall right back into your arms again. Oh, love that song. That's a great song. 10 Chances. So there's back-to-back Steve Holt song. The last 2 written in Australia. And I believe recorded there too. Z says, be on a cruise this weekend, so we'll miss Sunday night. Well, enjoy that cruise. Cool. Where are you guys going to this time? Thanks, Amy. I like that song. Kevin and Jean aren't here tonight. They were there at the show Wednesday. They came to at least 1 or 2 of the house concerts. So, when new friends would come to the live shows I would do, sometimes I would go, okay, here's a Steve Poltz song, the first song I ever got to play with him on stage at the Rhythm Room years ago. And there's kind of a sing-along song. You all have a line, doo-wop, baby. I said, I'll cue you, but if you're not sure, just look over at Jean and follow her because she knows when it's going to be. San Diego to Mexico next. Oh, I have not been on a cruise. Always wanted to. And I can't tell you how many people said, so for your first cruise, just take like a little 4-dayer and go down to the Gulf of Mexico from San Diego. So they said it's just a great, you'll probably know, I'm sure you've already done that. That sounds like a nice little 4 or 6 day cruise. A couple of days, 3 or 4 days maybe, I don't know. So enjoy that. Yeah, so this is a song Steve wrote called Impala. So I used to check in on his old website. People put comments, I would call myself Impala Bruce because we played the song together. I don't know how many other Bruces he knew. There's a baseball player or former named Bruce Bogey or something. That's all, but I always wanted him to know who I was. So Impala Bruce here from Arizona. And then he started calling me Impala Bruce. Or guys would say, oh, Bruce couldn't make the show, he had COVID. I did that one time, and he'd go, oh, Impala Bruce. So this song was kind of special to me. So, oh, Stan Williamson was like, oh, wow. Tell him I said hello. I haven't seen him in forever. Yeah, so you don't have to if you want to type in. You can just type in doo-wop baby once when it's your turn. You guys have all heard this, so this is the last Steve song I'll play. I used to know another one he wrote about baseball, about a baseball announcer, but I haven't played it in years. Beautiful. It's capoed up on the 7th fret. It's played up really high. I haven't done that in a long time. I don't really remember it. Yeah, so here's a song I got to play holding Steve's guitar, Smokey Joe, when we played this on stage. Gosh, probably 9 or 10 years ago at the Rhythm Room. So here we go. Wait, hang on. I love girl, girl love me. It's not only cracked up to be sort of pop. The radio on, dedicate my girl a song. Oh, can't, come on, man. Things up, stays got to buy, baby. Diamond rings, keep it simple, just don't brag. Got to be high speed, low drag in the Impala of my love. Here we go. Do-wop, baby, of my love. Do-wop, baby, of my love. Do-wop, baby, of my love. There's one, very good. Coffee pot is sold bilingual. Self-help books on being single. Everything that is so high-tech. Why can't we just park by the lake and neck in the Impala of my love? Here we go. Do-wop, baby, of my love. Do-wop, baby, of my love. Do-wop, baby, of my love. Love in the 21st century is such confusion, such mystery. Where's my modem? Where's my mother? Fax incoming. Oh, brother. Stars are out, and you look fine. Empty clothes and empty bottle of wine. You got nice gowns, that's French fillets. Let's cook it in the back seat, baby, like a couple of poached eggs in the Impala of my love. Do-wop, baby, of my love. Here we go. Do-wop, baby, of my love. Last time. Do-wop, baby, yeah. I still love that song. Oh, one of my most special musical memories, playing that on stage, unrehearsed with Steve, and everybody thought we'd set the whole thing up. And it was not true, and my knees were shaking like if Michael Jordan, I've often said, it said, hey, come on out and shoot some free throws with me and stuff, and you'd be going, oh my God, that was what it was like for me. but we got through it. It was awesome. All those years ago. I love the Do-Up Babies. That's awesome. Don's here, my childhood friend. Thanks for checking in. Good to see you. I did connect with our other childhood friend Jeff Robertson. He wrote me back. So he was in North Carolina looking at some family history. He said when he got back we'd get in touch. So thanks for connecting me with him that way. That was great. Amy, back at you. I was off camera. There we go. That's awesome. Yep. Why can't we just park by the lake and neck? That's yep. The backseat like a couple of poached eggs always makes me laugh. That's just funny. It's a great line. I love that song. Oh, thanks, Amy. That's awesome. That's a fun one. Yep. So that's my Steve Holt set. Wow, these hours go so quick. Yeah, it was a great show. I had a great time catching back up with him. I think it was the last time I hosted him at my former house. Third time for the house concert. I wrote a song I've forgotten that I even wrote called the Steve Holt song, and I wrote it for him because I opened for him because it was my house. So yeah. Anyway, I got to play that song, and I did a demo of it, and I took lines from his songs and stuff, and I put my own story in there with it, and I forgot all about that I wrote it, but it's funny. You have to know his music for a lot of it to make sense. So I was just thinking I got to relearn that. Oh, I also said I had some things to catch you guys up on. So if you saw my post earlier today, my lead therapist Kelsey and I, we just finished. It took 5 Fridays to take this course with this local therapist provider. She's awesome. Her name's Ashley Wenzel. And she has her own modality called neuromyofascial therapy or neuromyofascial release. And it's not massage at all, and it's done fully clothed. It's a beautiful, gentle, kind of rocking style. And it's, so neuro is the nervous system, myo is muscle, and fascia is the connective tissue that runs throughout our body. I call it Teflon for the body. So it works with sedating nervous system. It's great for people who have had trauma and have still have emotional holding. It's just a gentle rocking of limbs and the neck work and everything. And I started using it. I think I've used it in 3 client sessions now already. The next stuff, but we finished it today. And my former instructor and friend and I officiated her wedding with her husband, I've told you guys before, in the parking lot of an Applebee's here in Mesa, Arizona, right after I finished school, because I was ordained. And she's a beautiful soul. She's got a beautiful little daughter. And so Kaylin came in so we could have, today was demo, our last day to demonstrate proficiency before we got certified. And so Kaylin got to be on my table, which I was so honored. And Ashley paired up with Kelsey, and so we finished the certification. We did pretty well, and then we got these certifications. And so Ashley designed them herself, and they're so beautiful. So I went to Michael's, and I had to get some special frames. She hasn't even seen these yet. So these are the floating with glass frames, and so I just put these together, and I have a client tomorrow. I'm going to take them and hang it up on our wall. So it says Ashley Ignite. That's the name of Ashley Therapeutics. That's the name of her company, and so these are the certifications that we got. And there's probably a lot of glare, but they're really pretty. So these are going to go up on our wall in the office tomorrow, where we have a lot of other stuff. I call it our wall of fame. Then last Wednesday, my Uncle Phil passed away. So he was my dad's brother, my dad's younger brother. There's just the 2 of them. And so I went to the funeral yesterday, and I hadn't seen my Aunt Lorraine or my cousin Shannon Brookie, and I had second cousins. It was like a big family reunion. We were all exchanging phone numbers that we'd lost years ago. So really kind of a coming together ceremony. But my Uncle Phil used to play guitar. He didn't sing or any of that. He kind of dabbled, but he played. And I started taking when I was 9, classical flamenco, as you mostly know. And then I switched to acoustic when I was a teen. So I would go over to their house. My mom and dad would take me and my younger brothers, and we'd have occasional dinner over there with our cousins and stuff. And my Uncle Phil would sit down and show me how to play some little like country acoustic or instrumental stuff like Under the Double Eagle, and some other ones I've forgotten. And but he had this really cool looking starburst kind of color guitar. So when I called my Aunt Lorraine last week and talked to her, the first thing she said is, so I got to sell Phil's guitar. I have no idea what to do with it or where. Do you know? And I said, yeah, it's already sold. That wasn't going to anybody but me if my cousins didn't want it. And she said he kept it under his bed for probably the last 24 or 5 years he hadn't played it. So I got a hold of my local Brinley's Music Shop. The owner has a great first name too, Bruce. And so we're about the same age. So he did some research and found out a good price point, so I got it. I picked it up yesterday. So it's in beautiful condition. It needs new strings and stuff like that, but I wanted to show you. So this is my legacy from my Uncle Phil. I got his guitar. So I did research and I found out, I can't remember if it was Guild or somebody put out a guitar called a Hummingbird. So look on the pick guard. You can see there's hummingbirds in there, down towards the other end of my finger. So it was Guild or somebody else put out a guitar. So this one was just a Japanese version by just kind of a knockoff guitar manufacturing company called Orlando. So they don't run for a whole lot, but I got my Uncle Phil's guitar, which I'm grateful for. So that's part of his legacy and heritage, and now it's been passed along to me. So I got to get it in for some work, but I wanted to show you guys. I played this when I was like 12 and 13 and 14 and 15. So I can't believe this. I did the math last night. I played this 50 years ago. You heard it right, 50. 50 years ago, I was a teenager. I played this guitar. And look how it's still in beautiful condition. It's just sitting in this case under his bed for 25 years. 24, 25 years. So I think I'm going to drop that off at Brinley's tomorrow and just tell them take your time and just kind of put some new strings and make it playable for me. And so more than anything, I was just delighted to be able to get that guitar. And none of my cousins played, so my Aunt Lorraine was just going to sell it, and so I was so fortunate to be able to get that. So I got a little bit of my late Uncle Phil's musical heritage continues through that guitar and through me. So when I get it all restrung and playable, I'll have to do some songs on it one night, just to be able to kind of showcase the guitar and get some new music out of it, which would be great. Yeah, it was really cool. I liked it. I bet you have help a lot of people with that. Probably. Never thought of that. But I don't have a ton of guitars, collections or anything. I've got an electric over there I picked up because it was on the side of a road for pickup, and it still works. And so I got it just to have another electric. So I have this one and the one that I bought from Steve years ago in San Diego that he signed for me. Both Taylor guitars, and I've had others, but I got rid of them. But I'm going to keep this one because it's just got some family history and my Uncle Phil's legacy. All right. Oh, we're at the top of the hour. He says, I remember the time he signed it. Yeah, I put pictures up. Yep, that's right. Just to prove he did. I had him hold it without signing it and then pictures afterwards. So, but I will never get rid of that one. I told him on the phone yesterday, I said, I still have the guitar you signed for me, that Taylor 500 series. He goes, oh yeah. I said, remember I was working in South Carolina. I came up to see you in North Carolina. You were at that place. He goes, yeah, I remember. And I said, I bought it then, and then I picked it up from him a couple months later. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. Yeah, that's a treasure. So I'm gonna play Amy's Lullaby that I wrote. We'll sign off with this one. When you go to sleep at night, remember to let your soul take flight. But if you drift away too far, I'll write a moonbeam where you are. The stars are calling, and I have fallen. As you lay your head to sleep, counting heartbeats instead of sheep, just breathe my name and call me there, and I'll sprinkle stardust in your hair. The moon is calling, and I am falling. If I could lay you down to sleep, praying the Lord your soul to keep, the night is calling, and I have fallen. So sleep you well, my turtle dove, you forever be my one true love. All right, my tribe, that'll do it for this edition of Fiesta Friday. Thanks for checking in. Thanks for letting me play all those Steve Poltz songs. My heart's still full of Steve. I got my Poltzy fix. Until the next time, this is awesome. Such a great show. What a great showman. And so I'm still just flying because of that. And I got my uncle's guitar, and then I got my certificates here from Ashley Ignite. It's got certified in neuromyofascia release therapy. So, it's been a busy week, but it was good today. Finally got that certification under our belts, and very happy about that. And then I wasn't in a rush. I got to come home and change and relax and get everything fired up to broadcast live to all of you. So, as always, no matter how large or small a gathering, it's an esteemed group. Thank you for being here and a part of that tonight. Amy says, thanks to great music and stories. You're welcome. You're welcome, Don. Thank you. Thanks, C. You're welcome. Thanks for checking in. Have a great cruise. Quite a great week. It was. Yeah, sometimes because I just work, and, you know, I'm pretty bad about work-life balance, but I had a great trip last month up to Michigan, the Grand Hotel. That really just kind of ignited something. It's like, I really need to travel and enjoy my life a little bit more. So this week, had some sadness, but also some joy out of it, and reunion with cousins and other family I hadn't seen in a long time. And then I got my certification with my lead therapist, Kelsey, so we got that going. So we have a new modality to offer people who really don't want deep tissue massage. They just like light massage if they're carrying trauma. So we nurture limbs and walk rock back and forth, and just kind of the body starts unwinding all that connective fascia tissue and letting go, and it's just awesome. So got that new certification, jazzed about continuing to use that, and then here I am for you, great folks, playing music. So what a way to cap off a week. So enjoy your Friday, what's left of it, into your weekend. Have a safe cruise to Zianita. And as always, namaste. The divinity in me recognizes and honors the divinity in you. Thanks for keeping yourselves healthy, those immune systems bolstered up, and the end of your work week, sliding into your weekend, however that looks. And I will be back on Sunday. Remember, as I know you did because Amy's here, and so is Don. So Arizona is still the Wild West. We don't change time zones. So I still stay at 5 p.m. Mountain, however that looks to you. So I will be back on Sunday for Soulful Sunday. If you can, stop by, and we'll look forward to seeing you then.